Hi there, Rick Péwé for Gone-GPN. You won't believe what we found at the SEMA show today. I'm with Phil Norvald. How are you, buddy?
I'm well, thank you.
He's with Max-Bilt. He's been building all kinds of cool creations, loves old Jeeps, older Jeeps, and even just vintage. Because where is that line, right? 79 is vintage.
Right? Yeah, okay. I would say. Yeah.
Right. So what we have here is a Cherokee Chief S.
Yep.
Which is a little bit special as well. All Jeeps are special. We know that. So, tell us about this. What year is it? And why is this like this?
So it was a 78 Chief that we had. A client of ours came to us and said, "Hey, I've got an old Cherokee Chief. I'd like you to spruce it up. Just do a little bit of body work on it, and maybe squirt some paint.
A little bit.
Just a little bit." And we come from the Midwest, Wisconsin, and so 6 months ago you could throw a football through the holes in this thing. It was rusty, and so our main focus was a ton of metal restoration and metal repair. And if you know these Chiefs, finding parts for them is extremely difficult.
Right, because they're not the same as a Wagoneer.
You'd think,
they
but nope.
are.
Yeah.
You know, but there's so many little things that aren't. The grill, okay, yeah, that's the same.
Exactly.
Right?
One of
the wide track fender flare, that is not the same.
Exactly.
As Wagoneer.
Yeah, so, we found that out the hard way too.
Exactly. And these are what rust out.
Exactly. So we took 4 different fenders to make this look like this.
One wide track fender.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then the rears, we had to use a fiberglass kit because it couldn't find anything steel that was
right. But
worth
you can get it.
So we had to make custom fiberglass inner fenders for it too, and steel.
That's amazing.
Mixture. It was a lot of work. Even the quarter panels that you get for it are different.
So tell us about the graphics and the Cherokee Chief S, which is definitely special.
Yes. Well, it was. This was the reason that this Jeep was chosen to be the one. As far as the history of the package, Rick, I think you're going to know more about it than I am.
Well, yes, and there's a lot of things that people are going to argue about it too. It doesn't mean special. And a Cherokee isn't necessarily an S, and you can have an S that isn't a Cherokee and a Cherokee that isn't an S. So
got it.
So for the rivet counters,
yeah,
let them go argue all day long, right? It's cool. It's got the graphic package. Right there is something super important.
Absolutely. That was the other reason that this was the Jeep that we didn't just toss it in the scrap heap and start with something fresher, was because this is the Levi's Edition,
right?
Which that magic is definitely in the interior.
Right. Let's go look at that because this is something.
Yeah.
Man, that is so clean too. So surely you restored completely the dash and everything else.
Yeah.
And it has the CB radio.
It does, yeah, the factory option.
That's the factory option CB in dash. That's so cool.
Yeah, that was a super neat feature, and it works.
Who do you talk to? Truckers?
Well, yeah, that's about it.
They don't even use CB anymore.
I know, which is it's a kind of a real bummer. I'd like to say if there's a way to resto mod that head unit to be able to have it like FRS or GMRS channels.
Totally possible.
The whole idea behind this was a driver, not something that wasn't going to be used.
Okay, so let's check out that console.
That's
absolutely really cool.
So another, shameless plug. Our company Max-Bilt Off-Road, we also manufacture center consoles, and this is one of our products that we custom painted to match. We have the CD player and stereo system all based out of this, so we didn't have to cut up any of the interior, and all the storage is under lock and key. So just a nice, comfortable
and a real radio.
And it's got a power socket and some lights. Some of those modern conveniences that maybe you don't want to mess with drilling holes in your dash or
you probably have a USB port. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so check out the seats.
Yeah. So this is all. I gotta do a little plug for our upholstery shop, Auto Top Shop in town. They've been in town for 100 years.
Whoa!
And his dad is 96, and he still sews there. Wow. And we came to them and we said, Larry, I don't know, man. This is the project, this is the scope, but nothing is complete. So he he walked back into his catalog rack, and he shuffles around and pulls out a book that says 1978. Comes over, opens it up. It shows the thread stitch part number.
Wow.
Like it had everything. It had, down to the paint color that's needed for the Levi's buttons.
For the Levi buttons, because that was an officially licensed deal for the Levi editions. It had the fabric, it had the buttons that actually said Levi's. It was colored correctly, and that's pretty rare itself. And this is all kind of like a Restamon. This looks so good.
Yeah, no, we're really pleased with the way that the interior turned out. And at first we were a little bit nervous as we were putting the pieces together, because the different, like, you know, the carpet's got a shade of blue, the headliner's a little bit different. You know, then the color match, you know, dash and interior metalwork. It was, once it started coming together, we thought it might clash, but it definitely it works. It works awesome. Yeah, really happy with the way that turned out.
Here's another cool thing about these front seats on Cherokees.
Yeah,
they're different than a Wagoneer. Okay, and show them why.
The
lever. Huh? You can get into the back seat because this folds completely down. And that's one thing about these seats are such a popular refitment for CJ7s, because they're a little bit wider, a little bit taller, a little bit softer, a little bit nicer, bolt in and fold forward. So that's another reason it's hard to find these seats to restore your vehicle. And do you have, ooh, look at this. What is this giant rubber band flopping around on the inside of the cab? Well, guess what? Come on.
What? You tell me.
This giant rubber band is when you fold the seat forward and fold the whole thing forward, that's what attaches to keep it from flopping back.
Yeah.
And these are kind of rare to find too. And like, who would reproduce them anyway?
Well,
right?
that's the thing. And maybe do you think that it's just hard to find stuff because there's not the demand? But
exactly. Look at a square body Chevy.
Oh, okay.
If this was a square body Chevy, they made a zillion of them.
Right.
And these would be a dime a dozen.
It just seems that when you start looking, everything's really sought after.
Oh, absolutely.
And that was a big challenge. Sourcing parts is difficult.
It's like these side windows. People kill for these side windows. It's awesome. So, you know, when you see those and you look at the back, you know, these were electric or manual. This one's electric. So if you have any kind of problem with any of the wiring, it's not going to open. So we're not going to try this one right now, right?
Right.
Right. And because, what year is this? 78.
78.
78 is going to have the 3-piece chrome bumpers.
Yep.
And that's really nice how they wrap around.
Yeah.
And these, I can tell they're real. They're used.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, because you're not going to find those.
No, I couldn't find
them. Because Wagoneers wrap around.
Yes. Yep.
Cherokees are like this. Now, don't forget, you can get a 4-door Cherokee and you can get a 2-door Wagoneer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait till you try to restore one of those.
We've got quite a few more people interested.
Yeah, I can imagine you do.
In the Cherokee Chiefs and Wagoneers now.
I imagine you do. So what'd you do to the suspension?
As far as the suspension, it's a 4-inch skyjacker lift. And other than that, it was just clean up the frame, seal up some oil leaks in the engine,
right,
and run it.
And these are 44s front and rear.
Yep.
So there's nothing weird about them at all.
No.
11-inch brakes in the rear. It's got disc in the front. Disc is same as Chevrolet, so those parts are dime a dozen.
Yep.
You know, and you got some nice chrome or aluminum mod wheels.
Yep.
Those are, you know, the classic style on BFGs.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you need. Now, what about the transfer case?
Quadra-track.
It is, okay.
Yep.
So this vehicle probably can't see it because it's too dark, but it comes with a V8 engine, a GM Turbo 400 transmission, and a Borg-Warner Quadra-Track transfer case. And this thing was probably one of the best transfer cases ever made for these vehicles because it's a full-time unit and it has little cones and slippery surfaces so it can transfer the torque front and rear. Works great.
As long as
it's not worn out.
Yep, exactly.
And believe it or not, people are remaking parts for the inside now. A lot of people didn't like them because they didn't understand them, but they were the predecessor of all the new process transfer cases. They were that good. And they had an optional low-range reduction unit.
Yeah.
So that wasn't there.
Yeah, we've got that in the glove box.
Right. So what about under the hood?
Under the hood, AMC 360.
And that's the standard power plant.
Yep.
Oh, nice. One option on these was a 401. In fact, 78 was the last year for the 401.
Yep.
Sadly, I have a 79, and it has a 360.
Yep.
And mine also isn't in this nice a shape. But this
So,
is a standard 360.
Yep. AMC 360.
Right.
We put a header kit on it just
Sure.
to get a little bit more oomph and sound. The factory cruise control units, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
That whole system. Just the bellow and
Right, because it works off vacuum.
Yeah.
Oh my
pretty
gosh.
neat.
It is neat. There's no two ways about
Yeah,
it. But it was
different
typical
technology.
AMC. Nothing
Yes.
was normal.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
although they used Ford Duraspark ignition,
Yep.
this is about as standard as you get. Ford solenoids, Ford coil and ignition system, Saginaw power steering pump. You know, all the
All makes
regular
combined.
stuff. Yeah. All mixes and mixed models. Right, AMC.
Yep.
So, but they used the right parts.
Yeah,
You know.
I mean they really did. They picked the good stuff.
And it could have been air conditioned. It would have been a Ford York style air conditioner.
And
the
that's
other
actually a
dash.
mod that the customer, we have the underdash unit,
Right.
but we didn't have the bracketry to get it dialed in now. But after the show, before next summer, that's definitely on the docket.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's pretty darn cool. And then, of course, this grill is now a rare item.
Yep. Also, yeah.
Quite rare. And again, 3-piece bumper. In 79, they went to the 1-piece
Yep.
chromed aluminum bumpers.
Yep. Tough to find, man.
Tough to find those. Well, except for mine.
Well, what?
I need to get mine restored. I should just send it out to you.
Hey.
Because you do some beautiful work.
Well, I appreciate that, and it was a really fun project, and we do like how the bumpers, we could have maybe sent them out, got everything re-chromed, but again, like it's a driver, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Our little bit of mix of old and new.
Yeah.
So.
It really did. You did a great job. I think the owner's got to love it. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah. He was cruising the strip before we brought it in the show.
Oh, I bet he was.
And he was just having a blast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Phil.
Yeah, we appreciate your time, and
And,
thanks for the interest.
Yep. So find this segment on Gone-GPN, and for you at home, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.